What's going on YouTube? This is What Would Josh Do, and this is an exciting video. Now, I've been using this computer for a few weeks now. It's just below my feet, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on the table here in just a moment. But I wanted to go ahead and give a huge shout out to darkFlash. darkFlash is a company I had not heard of before they reached out to me, and they make some pretty awesome products. They make this all-in-one cooler, the Tracer DT240, and then they make these lights which look awesome, and you're going to see them in a second. And in fact, the fans that come in here, I wish were these. I wish I had more of these because the fans in here are awesome. I'd never done an all-in-one cooler before. It was pretty straightforward, but definitely a little frustrating. Definitely don't feel like I'm ready to record a how-to video yet, considering it was my first time installing an AIO, and I think I did it correctly, but yeah. So these fans look awesome, and there's so many different things you can do. You can sync them up with ASUS Aura, only if you have a 5-volt RGB header, addressable. So otherwise, you have to use the remote, which I do have, and it's pretty awesome. Change a lot of things like the color, the speed. It's got 2 speeds on the fan, like a low and a high. That's it. There's no middle. And then you can make it do one button for rainbow. You can change the speed, change the mode. If you really like that mode, go back to the previous mode. Or you could control it all using your motherboard, which unfortunately we do not have a 3-pin motherboard. If you don't want to go AIO, one solution they sent me was this neat little cooler here. It's just a low-profile CPU cooler. I'll go ahead and open it up. I don't have a computer to install it on in the moment, but I'll still go ahead and show it to you. Look at this. Look at this. It's just a cute little guy. It's got some lights on it, and it's just controlled via the fan header. There's no extra cables or anything. But yeah, very simple little interface, just a little fan. And you want to remove this to let it spin freely, of course. And then instructions and stuff on how to install it. But yeah, so I went with AIO, but this is just a neat little cooler. I wanted to show it to you. And then in my opinion, the star of the show. This is the DLM21. This is the case that it is in. It's an okay case. It looks nice. I like some of the features of it. Some of the things I don't like about it, but you know, it is what it is. I don't think there's a case that's perfect, except the Shifai seat. Oh man, I'm sorry. What? I didn't mean to say that. Sports top 240 millimeter AIO, which is what I have installed, and then I really like the way the hinge opens and removable fan bracket at front panel, which is really nice. You can remove the panel and get the fans in there, and then just put the panel back in there and 2 screws. So you can change your fans out easily without working inside your case to do that, which is awesome. I wish more cases did that. So let's go ahead and put the computer on the table. I really need to get one of those little fancy spin around things so I can spin it around. But I also have it plugged in so you can see me turn it on. But at the top, we have this little mesh that comes out. And then you can go ahead and clean this off. And I've got the AIO at the top so the fans are exhausting out of the case. We have a decent amount of I/O. We've got the audio jack, the microphone jack, 2 USB 2.0. So her mouse and keyboard combo is on this one right here, just because it sits on the side of her desk and this gets the best signal to the keyboard and mouse. And then one single USB 3.0. I really like the way the reset button is recessed in there. So you actually got to really try. It's not hard to press it in, but you are absolutely not going to do it by accident. You've actually got to physically push down with enough force in that little tiny spot to get that switch to activate, which is awesome. And then our power button, and then we've got our hard drive activity light and our power indicator. And I forgot that I had actually plugged it in, so here's the computer in its turned on state. This is just an RX 570 for I got on Newegg for like $120, and I was gonna put it in a PC that my brother was gonna have, but then the graphics card that was in her old computer was the 1052 gig, and the RX 570 4 gig is way better than the 1052 gig. So oddly enough, these 2 fans right here on the side were meant for the AIO. Why I said oddly enough is because with the fans on normal mode, where they're barely pushing in the air, controlled via the 4-pin header on the motherboard, and then ASUS fan software, the lights don't come on. You actually have to crank these fans up to full blast to get enough power into the fan to turn the lights on. Ideally, I would recommend purchasing more of these fans because the controller for these fans that's right here has support for a couple more fans on it. So I could take 2 of the 3 fans included with here, slap them on the front, and I could have 5 fans all synced up with one another. These don't do anything else other than stay solid RGB colors. And since I don't have a 5-volt RGB header, my fans cannot sync up with the RAM. The cooler doesn't actually change colors or anything. That's just what it is. So let me go ahead and show you just the back of the case here. We have our motherboard, of course, standard. We've got 4 PCI slots, dual slot card. And then we've got our power supply, which doesn't have the convenient little pull-out system. You screw it in just like the old ways. And on the front, there's no ventilation. This is one of the things about this case that's interesting. And a minor complaint is there's no holes in the front here. So how it gets its air, it's literally its only source of air. There's no air that goes in the bottom or the top, is right here. And you can feel the air being sucked in through right there. That's my only real gripe with the case is just, I don't know. And in a way, I guess some people like it because I know that some other companies that are really, really popular do that as well. And you can put your own graphics and designs and completely cover this with whatever stickers you want and not impede airflow because it's all coming from the side. And then one of the last things we're going to take a look at before we end the video is this. I wish every computer was like this. To change out components, dust things off, or clean things up. Ta-da! So freaking simple. There are no holes here for the power supply. There is a dust filter at the bottom. It's just a tiny little sheet. It's so cute. Just a tiny little sheet you pull off and clean off and then place back in there around the edges. And it's not super quick, but it's not super hard either. But so here we go. This is the inside of the case. We've got those fans that were meant for the CPU cooler on the side. I did that because I wanted the 2 that you're going to see the most to be synced up with one another. And here's the remote. So we can change the mode and make them do different things. So whatever you like. 1 button for just the rainbow effect, just all the colors in your face. And then you've got a button to sync with the motherboard, which, again, this motherboard does not have a 5-volt RGB header. And then you've got red, blue, and green, so just the colors. So neat little thing, and I've got the controller stashed where the power supply housing is at the bottom. It's a nice, clean case. These fans at the front move quite a bit of air. The CPU stays at about 40 to 50 degrees when gaming. These fans do enough job of bringing cold air into the case and then exhausting all that hot air out. In fact, you don't feel hot air at the top until you start playing. One of the games I play the most is Destiny 2. And after an extended session of Destiny 2, the top of this thing gets quite warm because it is moving out quite a bit of air. I'd never installed an AIO before, so to me, that was the best angle to approach that. Because I could either come from the front and bring it out, but then I have this here, and this gets really, really hot, and I don't want this touching that. So I didn't know the best way to orient it, and I figured I did a pretty good job. Nice little cooler. It would be awesome if this definitely synced up with all that, but then you'd have to run extra cables, and there's only one cable that goes from here to your case. You don't control anything with your computer via the USB 2.0 header or nothing like that. But yeah, so nice little case. I love the design of it being sort of minimalistic, but super friendly to, dust things off, clean things out. It's pretty awesome. And when you have a micro ATX motherboard, I love having a case that's like this, that's compact. It's easy to carry, it's light. In fact, I absolutely really would love to do a mini ITX build. Just as simple as can be, a graphics card, a motherboard with a CPU and some RAM on it. So shout out to darkFlash. They sent me this stuff, and so I was like, well, my daughter has this old computer that we've had since 2012. We've upgraded it, but at the end of the day, it's still, 7 years old. So I went to my local micro center. Thankfully, I've got one that's literally within miles of my apartment. And for $79.99, I picked up a Ryzen 5 1600. It's not top of the line or anything, but for $79, getting 6 cores and 12 threads, you can't really beat it. And then I got the B450 Tough Gaming through ASUS motherboard for $30 off. All in, I think I paid $110 with tax. It was 130 or something, 125. I don't know. Really, really good deal. Just over $100, and I got a motherboard and a CPU. That's what made this all come together. And then I bought some RAM, of course, because the old computer had DDR3 when it didn't light up, and this is a computer for a preteen, so it looks pretty awesome. And she can play Fortnite with her friends. She wants to play Destiny with us again. She used to. I actually have a video a long time ago, almost 5 years ago, when she was playing Destiny 1 with us. And it's super cute, and I can link to it if people want to see it. But she wants to play with us again, and then she's been playing Fortnite with her friends at school, and there's other games she wants to get into as well. So now she's got a 6-core, 12-thread processor and an RX 570 with 4 gigs of RAM. And obviously, we can upgrade the GPU. In fact, my wife has the 1660 non-Ti, and she wants to upgrade her graphics card, so we'll probably throw the 1660 in here, and then I'll have a backup RX 570 for another build. That is the absolute best part about PC gaming, is when you can spend $119 on a graphics card that kicks ass, and then upgrade it to like a $220 graphics card that kicks ass, and then later on, upgrade it to a, $400, like 2070 or something, Like, that's the best part of PC gaming. Buy what you can afford now, upgrade it later. Get a motherboard that's going to be upgradable. Things can be brought up. Maybe spend a little bit more on your power supply. Get like 650 watts, 750 watts. That way you can upgrade things like your graphics card and your processor. That's the best part of PC gaming. If you enjoyed this build, or specifically this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you think I did a pretty decent job at building my daughter her first little custom computer, I'd like to hear it. But unfortunately, comments are still disabled. It's not my fault. YouTube won't enable them for some reason. So just reach me on Twitter or Instagram. I have a video on my Instagram when I first put this thing together and booted it up. So you can go ahead and comment on that if you want to leave your thoughts on this video. This is What Would Josh Do? And I'm out.